The Hour Before Morning is a story about three people who are in a prison together who are waiting to be executed. And two of them are political prisoners, and one of them is a murderer who, for many years, has been at the mercy of these uncontrollable rages.
Who is Alec? He's kind of an insane mercenary killer who goes a little too far and has a little too much fun with his job. So really, he's just a hardworking guy that is a little misunderstood and gets help in what he thinks is the last minutes of his life or last hours.
Jin Shai. I think the best part about Jin Shai was he had the mind control of keeping this savage named Alec in control, because Alec would have killed everybody on the planet. And Jin Shai had the capabilities of holding this guy, and also had a historical background of understanding dominant cultures and subdominant cultures and how those dynamics all fit in, but keeping this guy at bay, especially in the prison cell. I mean, I think most human beings wish they could really have some kind of mind control and be able to have people do what they really want or have them not do things. So, I mean, you can look at both sides of the coin. So that's what I liked about Jin Shai. It never worked personally for me. I tried some of that, and there's still a mark in the wall where that skillet went past my head, so it was cool.
I wrote it fundamentally because I wanted to see the growth process of somebody like Alec, our protagonist, who is coming from a very dark place in his life at what, as far as he knows, is going to be the end of his life. And I wanted to explore the possibility that there can be, from that point, real psychological change.
There was a culture that was a dominant culture, and there was a subdominant culture. There was issues inside all of that, and how they decided to try to rectify and get a life out of that whole thing. And that, to me, that kind of speaks to lots of places on the planet Earth, even though this was an alien movie. There's a lot of things going on like that now. You have conflicts between religions, you have conflicts between races, you have conflicts between sexes, you have everybody's got a conflict, and there's a contract attached to that. And so I think there were some issues there that we were able to reveal.
I think I like that it's a basic human interest story, even though it's science fiction and there's a lot of different elements to it and mind reading and all those kind of things. It still boils down to just people in a room trying to work out their craziness.
A lot of people have asked me, when I give my standard summary, what makes this science fiction, because it doesn't sound like it has any necessary science fiction elements. And the short answer to that is that it's got spaceships and it's set in the future and it's got telepathy and stuff. But really, the reason that it's science fiction is that it provides an alternate culture outside of the real world historical and cultural contexts that we have, that is a free space for the play of imagination.
I think The Hour Before Morning is important for not just the fact that it has a really great character piece and a lot of very interesting ideas that it represents, but also because it's an independent film made by a very small group of people who are very passionate about the movie and the characters in it and the storyline, and didn't have a lot in the way of real technical equipment at their disposal and a lot of really high budget or even frankly medium budget. We had a lot of very kind of professional experience, but very prosumer or even less than that, getting lights from Walmart or Home Depot and things of that nature, and just trying to make it work. And so I think it's important because of the amount of craft that went into it.
Everything was on the fly. Every morning we'd roll in and kind of look around to see what we had at our disposal and how we could use it to the best of our ability. So each day presented itself with a impromptu challenge, and that led to a lot of creative ideas and a really tight-knit crew, because everybody had to be on their A game and bring everything that they possibly could to the production.
I think what's most important is to really show what's in that frame. What do you actually see? And how can you frame that so that if there's things that you don't want in that particular piece of the film, you can frame it out. And what is in that frame? What can you fill that frame up that looks good without having to do a whole lot of strange things? Maybe change something in the background, a little this, a little that. You got it.
The way that we sort of had to MacGyver some lights in certain scenes or some sound in other scenes, or getting generators to go to all sorts of crazy locations because we were very, very low budget. And so we had to just, like, polish and bubblegum, get some of these things to work together. And it was flying by the seat of our pants, but everything really worked out.
Working with the actors was a lot of fun. They all had really distinctive ideas about their characters, so they didn't require extreme direction. It was more nitpick of concepts and ideas and really trying to drive home what they had already developed within their characters. So that was lots of fun. Working with the screenwriter and the producer of the film was entertaining, because she had a very distinctive vision that she wanted, but really wanted to allow the creativity of the film to create itself. So she had a lot of flexibility within her concepts, but at the same time kept true to the vision that she had originally developed.
I remember working with two guys in particular. One was named Mike and one was named Quentin. And Quentin was a light guy, and Mike was also kind of a boom operator and camera guy in certain scenes. And we had this sort of triumvirate of just passing roles back and forth when Greg was doing scenes and wasn't able to do sound. It was sort of, we were like the three amigos who were being directed by Jake. And it was just really interesting because we bounced ideas off of each other and we helped each other out to kind of make sure that we had everything working.
The Hour Before Morning was a project that started out as a small budget independent film that was going to be shot in free time and on people's own dime. And I think ultimately what came away from that project was a truly unique story.
It's my hope that the audience of The Hour Before Morning will see a message of hope in it, and a message of compassion. When I think in particular of the character of Alec, I see someone who in some ways sees very clearly what world he lives in, which is a difficult world. It's a world with a great deal of injustice and cruelty. And he has understandably drawn some very negative conclusions about life and people and society from that. And over the course of the story, those facts don't change, but his response to them changes. And I hope that that becomes a powerful expression of how we can create the narrative in our own lives and take whatever life has visited upon us and turn it to the best effect.
The fact that he falls over and busts my leg up in real life is probably the best thing about that character. What a dork.